Hey guys, so today we're doing kind of like a current favorite makeup product video, but also trying it on my face because I don't want to just sit here and kind of go over the stuff. I kind of want to use it on camera. Instagram, Twitter, follow me on there. Main channel in description if you guys don't know this isn't my main channel. So yeah, let's just kind of get into it. Let's do our little clips. People wonder where I get these from. You can literally get them from like Amazon or eBay or AliExpress or any of those websites for literally like £2 or $2 or whatever it is. They're just little clips that you can use to hold your hair back. I did testing a full face of Hourglass video and I always assumed that like, oh yeah, this is gonna be good, but it's not gonna be like worth the price. But I still pay the price because I'm stupid. But I tried this Veil Mineral Primer. It's oil-free, broad spectrum SPF 15, which they could have added a little more SPF in there. I know it's like one of the most best-selling products that they have, and I really like it. I don't know if it's worth the price. I don't know if I'll repurchase it if there's no sale on, but I've been really enjoying it currently, and this is what this video is, just makeup products I've been enjoying. It's kind of like that white, purpley, almost consistency color vibe aesthetic, but it feels like a silicone primer, but just not as silicone. It does fill in some of the pores, but it doesn't make them porcelain-like. And then okay, so the story is, I think when I started my channel, it was 2018, I was obsessed with the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation to the point where if they had a sale anywhere, I would just stock up on them because you go through them pretty quickly. They're £42, but you only get 0.25 fluid ounces. Most foundations have 1 to 2 fluid ounces. But anyway, the story is, I really loved this foundation. And then you know when you like buy new products and you just start like trying other products and then you go back to your old faves and you realize they're really bad. That's kind of how my story went with the Vanish Stick Foundation. I tried it again and I was like, this is the most awful foundation I've ever tried. I don't know why I ever liked it. I don't know why I ever like spent money on this. And then I tried it again and I realized it's actually good if you know how to use it. And I tried it for the first time properly in the trying Hourglass makeup video and I realized I really liked the foundation again. So I don't know if maybe my skin changed a little bit or if it wasn't that dry anymore. Hi, so I'm popping in to just say that I in fact have made a mistake in this video where I basically said that I enjoyed the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation, which I do. I do enjoy it because as I told the story, you know, I hated it. Well, I loved it and then I hated it and then I tried it again and it was actually really nice. So I started liking it again and I thought it was like God's gift again, and quite frankly it's not. So I think what kind of made me a little bit biased in a sense is the fact that I hated the foundation for a while and then when I tried it and I didn't hate it, in my mind that was like, oh my god, you love it, when in reality I don't love it, I just don't hate it anymore, which is good because I can use it up and not feel bad about spending £40 on it, but at the same time it's still not something that I would repurchase. Once again, my favorite foundation is the Pat McGrath Labs foundation, which I am now mixing in with my Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation. So what I do is I put one pump of this all over my face and then wherever I need more coverage I use the Vanish Stick Foundation, which will help me use up this foundation while also looking the way I want to look, which is this is how I want to look. And having a good skincare routine before you apply this foundation also really helps because it's a stick foundation. You kind of need to put in a little more work to blend it out and it just needs a little more slip and slide. I try not to apply too much to my nose because my nose is my problem area. I used to apply so much more of this foundation, like so much more. I have a makeup tutorial on my main channel from like 2018 and I apply so much of this foundation. I can only imagine what my skin looked like up close. It must have been Texture City. I don't know who let me do all of that. Like I said, this foundation is super pigmented, so you really don't need a lot. So like you can see, my skin looks pretty luminous, but also pretty covered. So I've like regained love for this foundation. Then I've recently been either switching between the Pat McGrath concealer or the Kylie concealer. The only reason I'm sticking to the Kylie one right now is because it's a little lighter than the Pat McGrath. If you get to try them for like a decent price, like without any like extortionate shipping or anything, these are really good. They're super creamy, kind of high coverage, but like not Tarte Shape Tape. And I just apply a little bit right where my like deepest bit on my eye is, and then a little bit out here, and then a little bit on my chin, a little bit on my nose, a little on my forehead, a little bit right here, and that's it. I've been falling back in love with the Blenderful. It's dirty because I've been loving it. I don't wash it in between every single use because I think that is silly. I know bacteria hygiene, you know, all the good stuff, but you don't have to wash it in between every use. What are we? Perfect human beings? I kind of like use these as like, I just kind of fold them up and just kind of do one of those. I also love these for once you have your foundation on, just tapping in your foundation after using like a brush or something. You can really like tap it into your skin. I don't know, I've just been really liking it again. I can't remember the last time I used a beauty blender. You can really just fold it up and make it your own thing, you know, make it your own shape. For example, if I need to go like under my eye, I do a little taco and I kind of go like this, and I think it just works really well to like pounce everything in while also keeping a lot of the coverage. This is kind of a brush and a beauty blender mixed in one. I don't know how often you're supposed to replace these, but like I'm not, you know, down to replace this anytime soon because I think my one works and it's fine. It hasn't like hardened or anything. Yeah, and then I just kind of go in with like a fat part of the sponge and just kind of go in over everything and just, oh, my hair is sticking to the grease. That is my face right now. My face drastically switches like literally minute to minute between super greasy to super dry. Like it's almost dry and greasy at the same time, which like you'd think that wasn't possible, and it somehow is. My next favorite this month is still, like, it can't be beaten really, the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder in Fair. I had to repress it because it fell. It wasn't fun, and I repressed it and it's a little bit loose right now. Like you can see some of like the bits, I didn't crush it up properly. It works and I don't want to have to repress it again. I completely forgot to use loose setting powder. Oh, and this brush is also my fave. Everyone asks me what this is. This is the Real Techniques B02. My favorite loose setting powder is the Glossier Wowder. I think it works fantastically well. This is G11 to G12. It's my shade. It's essentially just the lightest shade they have, I'm assuming, I think. And I just use it to like set everywhere, including my under eyes, around my nose, on my nose, in my pores. I find that if you have an overly shiny face, your pores start to really show, so we don't want that. Forehead, right in the middle there, because that's where I get really greasy, but also kind of on the sides right here, because that's where I have a little bit more texture, so I kind of want to cover it up with the matteness. I find this powder is super like perfecting. It just makes your skin look really nice. I essentially set my whole face, like there isn't any, you know, method to it. It's just kind of set whatever happens. And I actually use the perfecting powder as kind of a like extra coverage thing. So if I need extra coverage anywhere, like on my nose, because it does have quite a bit of coverage. After doing that, I use my favorite finishing powders. I know, another powder, even though my skin ends up looking really dewy, I'm gonna show you how I do it. It's fine. This is the Lighting Edit Ghost palette. This was a Christmas edition. It's got a bronzer, 2 blushes, a highlight, and 2 finishing powders in 2 different shades, one of them being dim light and diffuse light. So I think it's dim light, diffuse light. As you can see, I dip my brush in the middle right here, which is why now there's this weird thing. I take a brush, I try to like go in there, even though it's a finishing powder and you should be using it like after blush and bronzer and everything to like blend it all together. I like to use it just like right before I start doing any of that, because I find things just blend a little bit better on top of all of this. I need to get like a new desk chair, but I also want a desk chair that you can lock the wheels on so that it doesn't keep on slipping back, so that once I'm in like a working position, I don't have to keep on sliding back in. And that's kind of it. That's my favorite powder. I love these. If you're gonna get anything from the base products I told you about, get one of these powders. Like obviously match it to your skin tone, but get the finishing powders. I think they are just the most beautiful, like luminous, but not too luminous setting powders. It really just makes your makeup look 1,000 times better. So I recently bought the Ofra and Samantha March collab, and I bought the bronzer, the blush, and the highlight. I really enjoy the bronzer. So there's a matte side and then there's a shimmery side. Even though this is matte, it's still very creamy and very blendable. Unlike, I also bought the Cover FX Sun-Kissed Bronze, the duo. So there's the matte side and the shimmery side. These feel almost wet. I can't explain it. They are super pigmented, but they're super like wet. As you can see, like it's difficult to blend out. And then there's this shimmery side, which is super shimmery and also super orange. And also, I mean, this side's a lot easier to blend, but it's still a little difficult. So I find these are a little bit not great. I know this is a current favorites, but I thought I'd compare and contrast because it's a similar vibe. It's a similar aesthetic of one matte side, one shimmery side, very similar shades, as you can see, very similar, but somehow this is just so much more blendable. I'd recommend getting this one over the Cover FX Duo if you want to get like a matte shimmery thing. What I do is I start out with one of these little fluffy flat brushes. And I go into the matte side and I just start kind of going in wherever I want to bronze slash contour slash whatever it is that I'm doing. Like if I'm doing like a very simple, like everyday, no makeup look, I'll just blend both of these in together at the same time. But if I'm doing kind of a more thought out makeup look, I like to separate it out. So do the matte first and then go in with the shimmery. And then I go at the bottom of my face, at the bottom of my nose like this. And then just a little bit on the side, on my chin, and up here on my forehead. And I've also been doing a new trick, which I've been kind of enjoying, which is grabbing a little bit of bronzer and putting it right here, like on the edge of my eye going up to my temple, because I think it creates the cat eye effect that everyone's after right now, but it does it in like a very subtle way where it blends into the eyeshadow that you're going to do later on, and it kind of creates the illusion of lifted eyes. So it doesn't really matter what eyeshadow look I'm doing, whether it's pink, purple, blue, wherever it is. I will do the contouring kind of up here instead of trying to do that with eyeshadow. Then I like to take a big brush and kind of try and like aim more at the shimmery side and blend it all together. I find that shimmery stuff always blends a little bit easier because it doesn't, it doesn't look so muddy and harsh. So recently I've been sent blushes by Odenzai, which is my favorite brand recently, just overall, not even an indie brand, and it is an indie brand. It's an indie Swedish brand, but it's just good. So I'm popping in because I recently was given an offer, an opportunity to have you guys save some money and make some money in the process, which I think is incredible for this channel because we literally started it like 2 months ago. But anytime I mention an Odenzai product, you guys can use code Angelika to get 10% off, and then I get 10% commission from that. So you guys can support Odenzai, an indie brand, and me at the same time, which if you guys want to do that, no pressure to you, but if you want to do that, if you're going to get any of these products anyway, then you might as well get 10% off, and here is my code. So yeah, just popping in to mention that because this happened after I already filmed the video, and at this point I just want to let you guys know that you can have this offer. That's it. Continue. There's the pink packaging and the purple packaging. The purple is shimmery and the pink is matte. They are super buttery. So this is, which one's my favorite shade? So this is the M1202 and it's so soft. So if you blend it out, it just blends so beautifully. Anyway, so this is that shade. There is also a more pink shade. They might look a little bit different on camera, but they're super buttery. See that? Beautiful. And then there is this shade. This is Sweet Peach. It's so pretty. This one's more mauvey, I think, a little bit. These are definitely a current fave. Like I'm obsessed with these blushes, but then I'm also obsessed, like even more so, with the shimmery ones. This is Little Jasmine. It's a nudie brown with gold flecks going through it. I've swatched all of these on my Instagram stories, but those Instagram stories are now gone. But see, that is just got such a beautiful shine to it. And then there's Water Lily, which is like a mauvey orangey with also gold specks, which I think is beautiful for the summer. These blend even better than the matte ones, but the matte ones blend beautifully for matte blushes because sometimes those can look a little powdery on your face. Both of these look stunning. And this is Sweet Tulip, which is, I don't know, like a darker plummy pink, and it looks like that. So those are the blushes. I've been obsessed. Okay, so I'm gonna go for S1204 Water Lily, which is a shimmery, I guess like a dusty pink with gold shimmer going through it. And another one of my favorite products is this brush. I got this when I went to Florida last year, and I got it in a Walmart or a Target. I think it was a Target. It's just an e.l.f. brush. This is the Feather Light highlighting brush. I don't use it for highlight. It's just so sparse, like so flimsy. Look at that. Love me a flimsy brush, I really do. These do have a little bit of kick up, so be careful with that. Really like tap super gently. Like you need one tap for your cheek. Like literally go in once. That's already a lot of product. And I think I love this brush because it lets me blush like right up here, which is where I like to blush because it lifts my face. And then if I need to blend it out, I just use the tip of the brush to just kind of go like this. I close my eye because it does get in my eye a little bit. So yeah, just once again, I did one tap and I just, see that? Like it just blends like nothing. I don't know if it's the brush or if it's the blush, but I think it's both. And I do one little tap and I tap it off and I go right on my nose at the top here. And because it's shimmery, it adds just a little bit more highlight. On my chin, one tap. I kind of go up here like above my brows. That's usually where I blush. But like Look at this sheen. It just looks so stunning. If I was to recommend between the matte and the shimmery, I like the shimmery ones because they don't have like glitter particles. It's just like a beautiful sheen. I can't explain it any other way. It's just so beautiful the way these blend and the way these look on the face. I'd recommend like one of these shimmery ones, mainly Water Lily. I really like this one. And then I recently thought about the fact that in like 2015, 2016, fan brushes were like everything. Everyone needed a fan brush. If you didn't have a fan brush, you didn't do highlight properly. And then everyone just kind of like all of a sudden went, no, ew, fan brushes are awful. Why are you guys using them? And I just think it's a ploy to get you guys to buy more makeup. Anyway, so I used to use the like a little tapered brush. But then I recently bought a fan brush because I was kind of like curious like as to why everyone hates these so much, and I don't get it because I really like it. So this is one of my faves, a fan brush. So I've been loving, I already spoke about this before, the Odenzai highlighting palette. It's got 4 shades, an everyday champagne, a white to purple, a white to gold, like a yellow gold, and a pink, which is like a rose gold essentially. So what am I going to get into? What eyeshadow look am I doing today? I don't know, I'm going to do the yellow gold maybe. Wow, I love this highlight so much. So those are my 2 faves still. This palette, I use every single one of these shades all the time. I just love them so much. I think for every single occasion, there's something there. They're so drastically different. I hate when highlighter palettes have like 6 highlighters and they all look the same. I don't know why I need like 5,000 shades of champagne when I can have, you know, champagne, pink, gold, purple. Got all the bases covered. So my favorite setting spray, I've used so much of this. I use it obsessively. Like all the time. I'll come into my room and just spray myself. Is the Fenty Beauty Refreshing What It Do spray. The mister on this is just what dreams are made of. I'm gonna, wow. Just, there is not a single droplet on my face right now. Just beautiful dewy setting spray, but like not a single droplet to be seen. Sometimes when I apply setting spray, I go back into powder. I tap out my smile lines because they are a problem area. And I take some powder and I bake this area for a while even after doing setting spray. Because the setting spray is dewy, I find that it sometimes makes my smile lines too dewy and then they start going crazy. So I do this for literally a few seconds and then I take a brush and I brush this off. I literally just want to keep this area right here matte just so that they stay in place because my smile lines are an absolute nightmare to deal with. Anyway, those are not my current makeup fave if you were wondering. I have a confession to make. I've, for the last month, I think on this channel, 2 months, have been on soap brows. I was like, they are the most awful trend. They look awful on me. Everyone else can pull them off except for me. And I was so angry that I would not budge. And then I budged. Anyway, my new makeup fave are the soap brows. I don't know what this company is, but WB Co. And it looks like this on the inside. I use my old Mario Badescu setting sprays because I don't use them on my face. And I have 2 of them, so I just used these to wet this. And then it came with this little like bamboo stick, like little sticky thing. And I just bent this so that it was easy to get in there. And what you do is you go in there and you scrape. I think that's enough. And I push the brows up. I claimed that I looked bad in these until I actually properly tried them. And then I fell in love. So, you know, and that's how I keep them. That's the look I'm going for. So while these are drying, I'm going to apply Soft Ochre Paint Pot from MAC. I've had this for like 4 years now. Honestly, when is it going to end? I don't know. I guess it's good like value for money because, you know, you're actually getting like solid few years of use. It's probably expired by now, but you know what? I just keep on adding like face oil to it or mixing it up and it works just fine. I'm gonna use the Fenty eyebrow pencil. I don't have a favorite eyebrow pencil right now. I think they all work the same. Hot take. Okay. Hot take. I don't think any eyebrow pencil is necessarily better or worse than another one. That's the tea. Don't overpay, please. I kind of draw a line down here and I kind of stick the hairs wherever I want them to go with the pencil, if that makes sense. Like I move the hairs around while they're still a little bit tacky to kind of go wherever I want them to go, so they set down in that position. And then I use the brush to kind of go like this. There we go. These eyebrows do take a little bit longer for me to do than normal, but I think the payout is worth it because they stay on for so much longer. Like I can have, you know, full eyebrows for a whole day rather than eyebrows that just start like moving around places. Soap brows, I am sorry I ever disrespected you. So these are the eyebrows. They took a lot longer than I thought they would, but I am obsessive with how I shape things. And then my current favorite eyeshadow palette, which I received it along with the blushes and everything from Odenzai, is this Alva eyeshadow palette. It's a lot smaller pans than the other one that I showed you guys because there is 16 of them, but they're so small that I really like this. I think this isn't too much, not enough. It's just right. The pans are super small, so you're not scared that you're not gonna like use these up. This is what they look like. I love this shade down here. It's like a purple, and this one right here. I love the yellow and the like this yellow shimmery shade here. They're great. This mauvey right here, chef's kiss. So these are some of my favorites right now. What I do is I take one of these like flimsy brushes and I go into Jasmine, which is kind of like a taupey skin shade, and I just run it along my brow bone and crease. I like to do this step for easier blending and so pigment doesn't go so far up to my eyebrow. Then I'm gonna take a brush and go into Lotus and start blending in. So this is what that shade looks like. It's just such a beautiful wash of like a purpley, pinky, mauvey, dusty shade. Then I'm gonna go into Camellia, which is like a dusty rose shade. Beautiful, if you ask me. And I'm gonna put that in the outer corner and through the crease. Another monthly favorite, there is this show on Netflix called Selling Sunset, and then there is another show on Netflix called Derry Girls. Two very different shows. One of them is set in Ireland, like in the 90s, I think. And it's about these 4 schoolgirls, and one of them has a cousin also that came over from England, and it's just like a coming of age story. I think that's what they're called. And then Selling Sunset is about the real estate industry in LA, and it's about the Oppenheim Group, which is one of the biggest real estate agencies in LA. They sell all the like huge mansions, and if YouTube fails Oppenheim Group, I am waiting for my employment. I want to work there so bad. They get to dress very nicely and they get nice cars. They sell beautiful houses. Now that that is all done. Also, I saw Dandelion and it looks just like a regular shade. But then when you swatch it, it's got pink and blue going through it. It's just this is such a beautiful palette. Quite honestly, I am like in awe. Lilac is my favorite shade. It's an icy bluey purple, which you can't see. Yeah, you just can't see it. Dahlia is a beautiful rose gold. These are all just stunning. I can't even begin to like talk about these. So I have these 2 flat brushes. One of them is white and one of them is black. And I use this one because it's a little bit thinner for glitter glue. I use glitter glue under any shimmer, like shimmer, glitter, anything. That's just my aesthetic. I kind of use it to cut the crease, which I know is kind of like weird, but it works for me. This is the Revolution glitter glue, which is one of my monthly favorites. I've been using this every single time I do eyeshadow because I always do a shimmery shade. It's just a glitter eyeshadow primer base. It's got this like creamy, opaque consistency. It's very thin, so you don't have to worry about like feeling it on your eyes the whole day. I just coat the whole brush in it, just so it's nice and flat, and then I cut the crease with it a little bit. So this is how I do that. See, it kind of does cut the crease a little bit because it takes off some of the eyeshadow and it creates a cut crease. I'm sorry, it just works. So I'm gonna go into that lilac shade that I spoke about on that white brush, and I just apply it all over. If you can't see it well during the video, which I don't think you can, I'm going to insert a picture of this. I look up close. So stunning, like the camera doesn't do it any justice right now. And I'm going to put that all over my eyelid, like right up until where I blended the lash glue, which is down here. See that? It just really cuts the crease. Like you really just don't need to cut the crease. That's why it's my favorite. But you have to kind of really coat the brush so that it's super skinny and flat, and so that it actually cuts the crease. So that's what that looks like. And then I'm gonna take Dandelion shade that I spoke about, which is super fascinating. It goes from champagne to like pinky. And I'm gonna take it on that flat brush and put it on my inner corner. Then I go with like a fat, flat brush under my eye into all the shades that I used on top. So I start with that light mauvey shade. And then I go into Camellia, which is that slightly darker pink shade in the outer corner. Then I actually like to take the brush again and go into Lotus once again and just put it right here. So that's the eye look I created with the Alva eyeshadow palette. My other favorite is the Caution Extreme Lash Mascara. I tried it in the Hourglass full face makeup look and such a good mascara. This is one of those products that I would buy full price. Okay, so that's what that looks like. I just love mascara without any falsies because this mascara is so good. And then we're gonna finish off with one of my favorite lip products, which is, you guessed it, also from Odenzai, because they are releasing some amazing products. Wipe off whatever I've got on my lips and go in with one of these. This is the Odenzai Alva Cream Lip Stain, which is essentially a lip gloss but with more opacity, and it kind of leaves a stain behind. These are so good. This is my favorite shade. It's called Little Jasmine. And I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like. See, there's opacity and there's shine, but it's so easy to apply. I don't even need to lip line. And then I tap. It's just like a My Lips, but better shine and sheen. And look at that. I did all of that without lip lining. It just is such a stunning shade. Like I said, it's Little Jasmine, but it's not the matte shade. It is just the cream lip stain, not the matte lip stain. So comfortable, and it just looks so good. Like, I can't help it. And that's the look for today with all of my favorite makeup products that I'm using currently. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what favorite products you're using right now. Yeah, hit that bell. You'll be notified when I upload any videos. Social media links and main channel in the description, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.